This is the Troll Patrol, live with Justin Freakin.
Welcome to the Troll Patrol, live. It's a freaking Thursday. Welcome, DJ Dub, Warlord Von Wolf. Good evening, my friends. I don't know about you guys, but I like this new schedule. I feel refreshed, relaxed, not under pressure. I've caught up on some TV shows. I've gotten work done. Clinically, good evening. Yes, it is just another day. My buddy, Nicole, good evening. Welcome. My buddy video chatted me earlier and was like, asking me, like, did you hear the news? And I'm like, well, it's just another day in mass shooting USA. And he's like, oh, is it? I was just fucking with you. What have I done to the real Justin? I am the real Justin, and we are back. Full strength. I've got the phone lines working. The other night, I couldn't take phone calls. Steve King popped up in something the other day, in some headline I read. Steve King, the former congressman connected to white supremacy, got ousted. Was it the last election or 2020? Okay, I think it was 2020. Might have been 2022, though. Time's dilated and shit, and I smoke a lot of pot. Yes, Warlord, you are going to get your story. I've had it on the list for quite some time. Man attacks judge in her own courtroom. We're going to talk about the rash of swatting incidents that have happened across the country. If you follow right-wing media, you would assume that it's been happening exclusively to Republican politicians. That is not the truth. Happening to many Democratic politicians as well. Multiple bomb threats happening today. The Idaho Capitol received a bomb threat. Several courthouses in Maine received bomb threats. Two subway trains in New York City collided. A pastor punched a McDonald's worker because they disrespected his wife. Repeatedly punched a McDonald's worker. I'm almost certain I'm going to side with the McDonald's worker on this one. ISIS claiming responsibility for a bombing that took place in Iran. I believe it was yesterday. U.S. striking targets in Iraq earlier today, seemingly confirming my fears that we are going to escalate this regional conflict into a possible World War III. I haven't seen her. So I don't know if we'd want to fuck her or not. God damn.
You live in sexual
Cancel
anarchy.
Justin already. We're 3 minutes. We're 3 minutes into this one. If World War III breaks out, I will go back to being 5 nights a week. There are a couple of different things that if they happen, the Troll Patrol will return to 5 nights a week. One of those things might happen in April. Now, we will be on, I believe it is Wednesday of next week, as CNN hosts what I assume will be the final Republican primary debate. I guess it's just going to be Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis. I do not believe Vivek. Vivek said he is boycotting it, but in reality, I don't think Vivek qualified for it. Trump, the only other person who qualified for it, will not be there. There's going to be a Fox News town hall. Yeah, if there's a chance of nuclear war breaking out, we got to pump out the streams. So we will be on more than the 2 nights a week I promised next week. And then the week after that is the Iowa Cock. So I believe we will be on that Tuesday night as well. Is it Tuesday? DJ Dub, is it Tuesday? I believe it's a Tuesday. I believe we're the first couple of the Iowa Cock. The 15th. Is that a Tuesday? 15th is a Monday. It's a Monday. So I thought the first couple of primaries and caucuses were on Tuesdays, and then we get Nevada's on a Saturday usually. Your socialist aunt, good evening, mitochondria. Good evening, happy New Year. I did give you guys a best of for New Year's Day. I actually enjoyed, I think between all the different airings, I think I actually watched the whole thing. I didn't sit down and watch the whole thing in one go. I wouldn't recommend it because it's like 6 hours. But I do believe I watched the whole best of. And I was proud of myself. I was proud of the work I did. I thought it was a hilarious compilation of stories. There were a few things I was kind of sad that I left off. But I think it was definitely the best moments of the Troll Patrol. The thing that I'm really kicking myself about is that I did not do any animal videos at the end. And it would have been so easy for me to go, I believe it was Halloween. We watched Puppy Bus for like a half hour. I should have gone and cut that from the Halloween episode and put that at the end of the best of. I'm stupid. I don't know. It just ended with the woman on the plane and the horse causing the landing. So technically it was an animal video, but you didn't get to see any animals. Oh, let me give you your meme of the day. Can't end up in an orgy scandal 54 years after you were paralyzed. Followed up by the voice from the Radiohead album. I don't know if that was meant to be Stephen Hawking's voice on the album. Did it? Well, okay, so this is something I learned from the... What was that dude's name? He's a comedian. He was on Comedy Central. Jim Jeffries. Jim Jeffries. This is something I learned from the Jim Jeffries show. Meat Cakes, good evening. Because he had a friend who had a little brother who was... he had MS or MD. It was muscular dystrophy. So like his muscles didn't work, but like the penis isn't a muscle, so his penis still worked. And that's it. He ends up taking this kid with muscular dystrophy to a brothel because he wanted to get laid before he died. And let me tell you, that is one of the fucking funniest. It might have been ALS. That might have been what he had. I don't remember what it was, but he was completely paralyzed. It was a deterioration, right? So like the longer he lived, the worse off he got. And it's really like, this is like a 30-minute bit. I highly recommend you look it up. Jim Jeffries, it's like his signature bit. And like the setup for it's a good 10 minutes and it's really fucking sad. But then once they get him to the whorehouse, that is where the fun begins. ALS is what Stephen Hawking had. That's the one we did the ice bucket challenges for a few years ago, right? Because the sensation is like having ice poured on you, if I remember correctly. Let me tell you, the biggest shock for me was, what the fuck was Michael Jackson doing at Epstein's house? When I read one of the Epstein accusers says she met Michael Jackson at Epstein's house. I'm not high enough for this shit. Fair enough, fair enough. But as I understand it, Michael fucked. Michael laid some pipe. He was awkward about it though. Like, tried to keep everything hush hush. One of the things that tripped me out was apparently he was fucking Lisa Marie like 5 years before they were public about it, and then like 2 or 3 more years after they divorced. Insane. Yes, get a little high. You might need to get a little high for what we're going to talk about tonight. We're going to talk about the Epstein release. We're also going to talk about Congress people. This should come as no shock to anyone. Members of Congress beat the stock market. By a pretty penny, too. Their trading beat the S&P averages. And the Dow averages. And I believe that is what Jesse Waters was asking Dan Crenshaw, a man who I would give anything in the world to piss in his open eye hole. Give me that eye pussy, sir. I believe that's what Jesse Waters was asking Dan Crenshaw about when Crenshaw was on his show and got his knickers in a wad. Have you heard the conspiracy theory about Trump's weird ear? Also, probably not a good day for Donald Trump today, as Congressman Jamie Raskin unveiled evidence that Trump took in a hell of a lot of money while he was president, and Trump's family took in a hell of a lot of money. Also, news coming that Illinois now trying to bar Trump from its primary ballot. We're going to listen to, I believe it's Brett Baer. Is it Brett Baer? Brett Baer. We're going to listen to Brett Baer. I think that's who it is. I might be wrong. Or is it Stuart Varney? Is it Stuart Varney that does this? Who is this ghoul? Neil Cavuto. I was wrong on both counts. We're going to listen to Neil Cavuto read hate mail about himself. Now this is a Jimmy Kimmel bit. By the way, Jimmy Kimmel might be suing Aaron Rodgers for not being on the Epstein list, or in the Epstein documents that were released. It wasn't really a list. Who did I just say? It wasn't Brett Baer. It wasn't Neil Cavuto. It was Neil Cavuto. I said Stuart Varney. Neil Cavuto is going to read hate mail about himself. Megyn Kelly, a former Fox News host, is defending... did she appear in this? I don't know if she is one of them. But apparently all these right-wing women got together and they made a calendar. and apparently it got some right-wingers... it got them upset, I guess. It probably also got them aroused. Megyn Kelly defending the conservative dad calendar. Speaking of arousal, ESPN showed a tit. ESPN showed a tit. Video shows... right-wing media went crazy with this. Apparently they showed this actor getting attacked by a motorcycle gang is one of the reasons why California is some hellscape. Turns out it was actually the actor that provoked the brawl. We have information from a Netflix whistleblower that Dave Chappelle's transphobic specials didn't even do that well. New trailer has dropped for a Mickey Mouse horror movie. I guess it's, I had this conversation with my buddy last night. It's not Mickey, it's Mortimer Mouse. Mickey is not in the public domain yet. It is Mortimer Mouse from the Steamboat Willie cartoons. It is in the public domain. Plus, a kid is the first person to beat the NES version of Tetris. All that and a lot freaking more tonight on the Troll Patrol Live. Good evening. Welcome. I am not high enough for any of the shit we're getting ready to talk about. Once again, phone lines are working. 917-830-4359. In honor of the phone lines working, I have half a mind to call the Hall & Oates hotline. Call & Oates hotline. Was it the last number I called? Gonna lose my 14 cents. It was indeed the last number I called, so. Settings correct. Hold on, let me make sure the settings are correct. Yeah.
Welcome to Call & Oates, your emergency Hall & Oates helpline. To hear one-on-one, please press 1. To hear Rich Girl, please press 2. To hear Maneater, please press 3. To hear Privatize, please press 4.
Libertad! You think Chris is watching right now? Fucking love Hall & Oates. Apparently they've got a little tiff going on. Kiss on my list is not on the list. That's a shame. I can't go for that. Why isn't I can't go for that on here? Apparently they were never the best of friends. It was Daryl Hall was on with Sparkles. Good evening. I think Daryl Hall was on with Bill Maher or some shit. No, Holland is his first name and Oates is his last name, dude. Come on. I had to cut it off. I've promised in the past that we will be finding out what that news be doing by the time we come up on 20 past the hour. And it is now almost 20 past the hour, so unfortunately, we got to start off tonight with it being just another day in mass shooting USA. First day back at school for the kids, so guess what happened here in the United States? Guess I gotta hit the content warning for this one. We're gonna hear from a mother of one of the students that ran away from the gunshots at Perry High School in Iowa.
Important as we process what is happening and we try to move forward as a community, especially Perry as it moves forward as a community. And that's now why I want to go to Laura Terrell. She's at the First United Methodist Church. How are they providing support there in Perry, Laura?
Yes, Alex, as you said, we are at the First United Methodist Church in Perry. This is a safe refuge here for students and parents who are shaken and just don't know where to go. The pastors here tell us they want anyone to come to this church who needs a place to go, who needs someone to hug, who needs someone to talk to. I was inside the sanctuary, multiple students in there who were in the building when the shot.
So I believe last count we have 1 dead, not including the shooter. The shooter is dead. And 6 others were injured last I saw. This news report was from about 2 hours ago, I believe.
Were fired. There's a 7th grader, a 12-year-old in the church here who heard 3 shots and ran. She said she ran for her life to the armory and hid. We talked with her mother, who said she got that phone call from her daughter at 7:37. If you remember, 7:37 is when law enforcement said the first call came in. Her mom's name is Amber Ross. Take a listen to what she had to say. Daughter?
My daughter called me. It's being reported now that the first call for first responders was 7:37, and I looked back on my phone and I got a call exactly at 7:37. She told me she'd heard 3 gunshots and ran out the door to go to the armory, to where their safe space is when they're evacuated.
How old's your daughter?
She's 12.
She was inside the building.
She was in the building. So the middle school and the high school are connected by a hallway where the cafeterias are. And the shooter was in the high school cafeteria in that hallway. And so she was in that hallway leaving. So it could have been her.
As a mom, you never
No.
you never want to get that call.
I thought she was like exaggerating. I was like, no way, like that couldn't happen. Like you guys just heard something and then nope. That's what she heard, and it could have been her. She heard 3 gunshots that could have been pointed in her direction.
What did she do next? Where did she hide?
She went to the armory. So it's a military base, right? So it's like the military base here in Perry, and they're told to evacuate so she was in that parking lot when everything was happening. Luckily, she was far enough away that she was able to get out.
And then how did you get to her, and what was that like when you saw her safe?
I drove up like I was picking her up from school, like any normal day. I mean, obviously the traffic was insane, and there were cops coming in, flooding from both directions, and there was so many of them. Like, it's crazy how many cops were there.
How's your daughter doing now?
She's shaken up. She's
I bet.
better now than she was when I picked her up. She was really scared and crying and worried about all her friends, but she's been able to contact the majority of them, and obviously those that don't have cell phones or whatever, she'll be able to figure out at a later time, Monday.
So glad she's okay.
Me too.
Where does the community go from here?
We're a pretty tight-knit community. I haven't even been here that long, and I am now the scoutmaster for the girls BSA, and we always do anything we can to help out, and the churches, all of them help. The library, they have therapists set up. The schools also have things set up for the kids to go to over the weekend.
What do you want to say to other parents out there today kids struggling with all this?
Hug your babies. My husband left at 6 o'clock this morning, and she jumped in the shower right after he left, and he's like, that could have been the last time I saw her. And it's just, it's hard. It hits you.
So I was wrong. It is 1 student killed. It was a 6th grader, 4 other students, and a school administrator were injured. It was a teenage student, and they killed themselves. They were not taken out by the cops. The first day of school. And the right-wing media has seemed absolutely fucking giddy about the fact that the shooter might have been a member of the LGBTQ community. Reading from The Advocate now. Following a tragic Thursday morning Iowa shooting at Perry High School in the town of Perry, where 1 child was killed, multiple people were seriously injured. And the suspected shooter died of a presumed self-inflicted wound. Right-wing extremists and influencers have centered on the shooter's once again speculated, we're still in the early stages of an investigation, their speculated LGBTQ plus identity based on a pride flag emoji on a since-disabled TikTok profile. Late Thursday afternoon. Is that all the information they have? Just a pride flag? Because I have seen right-wing media saying that they identified as gender fluid. Late Thursday afternoon, Mitch Mordvet, Assistant Director of the Iowa Division of Criminal Investigation, provided updates on the alleged shooter and the situation. The Perry Police Department responded to the active shooter event, and upon arrival, they found students and faculty either sheltering in place or fleeing the school. Inside, multiple victims with gunshot wounds were discovered. The shooter, identified as 17-year-old Dylan Butler, a student at Perry High School, was found with what appeared to be a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Mordevet mentioned that Butler was armed with a shotgun and a handgun and had made several social media posts around the time of the shooting. Mortvet confirmed that there were 6 victims in the shooting, 1 deceased 6th grade student, 5 others injured. While law enforcement has not commented about the alleged shooter's gender identity or sexual orientation, social media users focused on the appearance of a pride flag on an account allegedly linked to the shooter, and it led to a narrative amplified by right-wing influencers online. That account is no longer active, but screen grabs of its content have circulated widely on social media. Kaya Ratchik, who is not reputable in any way, Flash, good evening. Known for running the anti-LGBTQ plus libs of TikTok social media accounts, began posting hours before the shooter was identified, alleging him to be gender fluid based upon a hashtag allegedly included in the person's social media footprint. She later posted a meme inaccurately linking several mass shooters to the LGBTQ plus community. Elon Musk amplified the idea on Twitter. The meme referenced several shootings in Tennessee. Audrey Elizabeth Hill, who police said identified as transgender, was responsible for a 2023 school shooting at the Covenant School in Nashville. In Colorado, Anderson Lee Aldrich, beyond the 2022 mass shooting at Club Q in Colorado Springs, asserted by their lawyers to be non-binary. However, this claim has been met with skepticism due to Aldrich's known anti-LGBTQ plus sentiments. In Denver, Alec McKinney, a transgender teenager, was involved in a 2019 shooting at STEM School in Highlands Ranch. And in 2018, in Maryland, Nochia Mosley, identified as a transgender, carried out a shooting at an Aberdeen Rite Aid distribution center. Crucially, the meme included a photo that it claimed was the shooter from the 2022 Uvalde school massacre. The shooter was not the person in the image and was not transgender. Later, Ratchik posted from her Libs of TikTok account, this is the transgender fluid terrorist who shot up a school in Iowa today. Trans extremists are a serious threat. The media will bury this. Historically, most mass shooters have not been trans or non-binary. I believe they make up 5, 6, 7%, something like that. Violence Project and Gun Violence Archive confirmed that instances involving transgender and non-binary shooters are exceedingly rare. The Gun Violence Archive recorded over 4,400 mass shootings in the last decade with known transgender suspects in fewer than 10 cases. So less than 1% about 0.11% of all shootings. Additionally, the U.S. Secret Service National Threat Assessment Center reported that nearly all attackers in mass attacks they studied were male, with only a small fraction being transgender. There have been isolated incidents involving transgender and non-binary people in mass shootings. These are not representative of the broader trend. The predominant demographic of mass shooters remains cisgender men, debunking the narrative propagated by certain right-wing figures and influencers that seek to incorrectly associate mass shootings predominantly with the LGBTQ plus community. And yes, I've seen that propaganda all over social media today, and it is fucking bullshit, and it pissed me off. And it's so wild that they're so quick to say, oh, there must be a problem with transgender people based on an exceedingly rare, as the article stated, percentage, but yet don't think that there is a problem with cisgender white males who are actually the majority, the vast majority demographic carrying out these types of attacks. If you might happen to be one of these cisgender white males thinking such things, I have a little advice for you. Just better for everybody. You know what? You do some drugs, you're probably going to have a different perspective on life. Might even open up your mind a little bit. We are seeing a rash of bomb threats, swatting incidents across drugs, not a titty slap. Dustin, good evening.
A titty slap! Give me those titties,
Come on now.
Timeless Toni Storm retaining her title at the pay-per-view this past Saturday. That's a tongue twister. Timeless Toni Storm retaining her title. Say that one 5 times fast, motherfuckers. We have had a rash of swatting incidents and bomb threats going on in this country. I have no idea what's up. You're in a wild time.
Is investigating a series of hoax bomb threats sent to state capitals around the country, and that includes right here in Idaho. Threats were sent to at least 10 other state capitol buildings across the country, in addition to here in Boise. FBI says it became aware of these threats just yesterday. Law enforcement sources say that they think the threats were sent from overseas and are not credible.
Interesting. So at least 10 state capitals and also multiple courthouses in the state of Maine. This all taking place today.
Day, another bomb threat here in Maine, and once again it was a hoax. An official with the Maine Judicial Branch tells us employees received an email this morning with a general statement that bombs had been planted in or around courthouses in the state, but no specifics were given. Investigators say this came from the same group that sent a similar email to the Maine State House yesterday. County courthouses in Cumberland, York, and Kennebec were evacuated, along with the York Judicial Center and Capitol Judicial Center. Most of them reopened later in the day. Police are still investigating both of these cases.
Something's going on. This is, we're getting into 2024, which is certain to be a wild fucking year. Starting off the year with a proverbial bang now, aren't we? It's not just courthouses and bomb threats. We are getting numerous false reports called into law enforcement. Politicians, especially over the Christmas break, saw several. Tommy Tuberville from Alabama, Senator Raphael Warnock from Georgia. Among the politicians receiving swatting attempts, swatting calls. Marjorie Taylor Greene been very vocal about the swatting attempts on her house. Representative Eric Swalwell apparently also threatened.
And mass evacuations and yet another swatting call to add to the wave of threats and unease facing public officials across this country. Once again, Democratic Congressman Eric Swalwell says he and his family were targeted by a series of threatening voicemails. The Justice Department says a Florida man arrested this week left 5 messages last month at a congressional office in Washington that we now know to be Swalwell's, with threats that included to, quote, come after you and kill you, and to, quote, come and kill your children. For the second day in a row, state government buildings were evacuated today after receiving bomb threats, this time in multiple buildings across Mississippi, at a courthouse in Little Rock, Arkansas, and a courthouse in Daytona Beach, Florida. And just one day after 6 state capitol complexes were evacuated and searched after each receiving bomb threats. And the latest victim of another unsettling trend this week, illegal and dangerous swatting calls targeting political figures. Georgia election official Gabriel Sterling says we should refuse to allow this to be our new normal after someone falsely reported to police a shooting incident at his home last night. Joining our conversation, former Assistant Director for Counterintelligence at the FBI, Frank Figliuzzi. David is also back. Frank, this is not stopping. This is just day 4 of a very busy year in politics. High-profile trials, increasingly inflammatory rhetoric from the leading GOP candidate. Is this what we're going to see? Should we expect more of this? Why are we seeing such a rash of this just in the past few days?
The numbers are indeed on the rise. It's not just you. If you think the numbers are climbing, they are climbing. The data is there. In fact, the FBI about 6 months ago opened up a national database through their NCIC system to track specifically these so-called swatting incidents, where someone tries to get the SWAT team to respond to your house because they don't like you, they want to mess with you. Whatever it is, it's that serious that the FBI's got involved here in tracking the numbers, because otherwise the police departments across the country may not connect the dots that, hey, this same number did this today earlier over here. And then you've got very sophisticated technology being misused right now. AI can allow callers to anonymize their voice, change their accent, change their phone number, make it seem like the phone numbers
Boy, howdy.
Somewhere else in the country or the world. FBI is getting to the bottom of that now, so that increases the odds that you will get caught doing this. If you're sitting there cowardly, not liking what someone says and thinking you're going to have fun and mess with them, you're eventually going to get caught and charged. And I will add this, by the way, it's a deadly thing.
Battle Opossum, good evening. It is a deadly thing. It's one of the things that I worry about, fucking getting a SWAT call on my home and having to face police with guns drawn. We are trigger-happy law enforcement. There has been a rash of swatting calls, swatting attempts, and bomb threats across the country, increasingly against our government buildings and politicians. This feels really weird. Whoever's doing it deserves a titty slap.
A titty slap!
Come on now.
People have died as the result of swatting incidents. There was a man in Tennessee who had a heart attack because the SWAT team was showing up at his house as the result of a response to a swatting call. And a man in Wichita, Kansas, was actually shot by the responding police officer. He shot the homeowner mistakenly during a SWAT response. With regard to the fact that our society is in a place right now where the thing you think you should do if you disagree with someone politically or their opinion about something is to turn to violence and violent threats. Not only are you a coward, but you're really just a sheep that's
Can we talk about how shitty our law enforcement is, that they can't discern the difference between a false allegation and they go in guns blazing on edge? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about the fact that the law enforcement feels the need to be militarized because there's so many goddamn guns out on the streets?
The Trump MAGA cult call to think that everybody who doesn't think like you is evil and that you can do this to them and their family. And there are consequences, as we've learned in the case of Congressman Eric Swalwell. There's nothing patriotic about threatening to kill.
I take exception with what he said. It's not just the MAGA cult.
Right. I mean, David Jolly, in a statement last night, Congressman Swalwell said much the same, quote, "There is no place in America for threats of political violence. We must always..."
I will get on to MSNBC for doing the same thing that Fox and all the right-wing organizations are doing. Those media outlets are only focusing on the Republicans that are getting swatting calls. They have been across the aisle, across political ideologies.
Resolve our differences at the ballot box, and yet, David Jolly, this is where we find ourselves.
It is, and I think many people can probably easily remember when Gabby Giffords and 18 other people were shot in Tucson for having a congressperson on your corner event. And I think that is the real danger, right? Fortunately, we are talking about a threat to Swalwell and his children. We're not talking about an actual incident. But who knows the next time and the next member of Congress if there is actually an incident. And this is where there is a requirement on our political leaders to de-escalate. They must. And look, political violence existed before Donald Trump, but Donald Trump in many ways has mainstreamed it. I mean, the entire insurrection on January 6th was about using political violence to stop the peaceful transfer of power. That is a contribution of Trump's leadership to violence in our politics that translates then to our political discourse. And so we always have to be careful of assigning blame to political leaders. But the one thing we know we can do is expect them to de-escalate and denounce escalations of violence related to our politics. You consistently hear that. Democratic leadership consistently tries to de-escalate and denounce the violence. And certainly many in the Republican Party do as well, but not the current leader of the party. He's fine with using intimidation when he sends out names on a social media account. He's fine with that. He's fine with January 6th. And that's where we should expect more of now the front runner to return to the White House in November.
You know, Frank, I want to get your reaction to these bomb threats to state government buildings today, state capitol complexes yesterday, the second consecutive day in a row. What do you think is happening here?
You know, one has to wonder whether there is some organization behind this. It could just be a couple of people who are using, again, technology to anonymize where this is coming from. But it's clearly a response to the...
With the Idaho one, they said it was from out of the country. Are we seeing a ramp up from Russia, from China, from Saudi Arabia? Who fucking knows? It's not like the U.S. doesn't have a long list of enemies. Smokey, buddy. Wouldn't surprise me if Russia is amping up their efforts to interfere in the 2024 election. Israel! I wouldn't put anything past Israel at this moment. Let's go to New York City, where two subway trains collided on the Upper West Side.
Pictures we have here just into our newsroom showing the derailed trains near 96th and Broadway. First responders evacuated hundreds of people from one of the trains. The other train was empty. We have live team coverage tonight of the collision, derailment, and the ripple effect for commuters all across the city.
We begin with the latest from the scene. CBS 2's Doug Williams is live near 96th and Broadway. Doug.
Dick and Dana, as you can see and hear, it's still an active scene. There was just moments ago still a fire truck parked behind us that has since moved, but the entrance to the subway station behind me has been very active as emergency and rescue crews continue to make their way down in what will be an effort that will take hours and into the evening. And some of the video that we've gotten into our newsroom, the cell phone video of passengers, because this was such a shock shocking moment that's been described to us as a jolt. Most of the video that's come into our newsroom is of the moments the rescue efforts were happening, and we've basically had described to us over a half hour of terror waiting for the arrival of some of those rescue crews. They were greeted with applause by many of the passengers on these very crowded train cars. Here's one passenger named Evelyn. Want to play one of her answers earlier in an interview talking about what she saw and witnessed.
When the trains collided, everyone was doing their own thing like usual. Everyone was on their phone. I was on my phone listening to music with my AirPods on. And like I said, I like my music pretty loud. But even through that, through noise cancellation and everything, you heard how loud we crashed into the other train. It was really loud that the other train literally got destroyed. Like the whole floor was just crunched up together.
Now I'm curious what she was listening to.
It didn't even look like seats no more. The poles were open. It was just really bad. And smoke started coming inside the carts. Like it smelled a lot like gas, and it was really bad. Everyone was panicking because like it's gas. There's lots of us in there. People started getting claustrophobic. People dropped everything in the jolts. I hit my head against the window.
And Dick and Dana, just since we've been listening to Evelyn's answer just now, MTA President Jen Oliver made his way behind us and down into the subway station. So again, MTA officials continue to arrive. And we've seen the Office of Emergency Management posted a few pictures on social media that show really the lean of what was the abandoned one train that had been vandalized, that ran into the crowded one train, the passenger train. And that was something Evelyn described. They had to walk through, when they were evacuated, they had to walk through the train cars of that evacuated train. And she described having to hold on just to walk through those abandoned train cars. It was so badly damaged, she said, we didn't even recognize the subway poles. The seats didn't look like seats. So that was the car that took the majority of the damage. And luckily, those train cars had been abandoned. Again, it was a service train, but really it was just a decommissioned one train that had been vandalized. The other one was full of passengers on a crowded Thursday afternoon. For now, we're live here in the Upper West Side. Doug Williams, CBS 2 News.
All right, Doug, thanks very much.
Oh, so it had just been shut down for the day. Yeah, when he said abandoned, that made me think, like, how long had it been there? Why is there just an abandoned train on the tracks? Which, still, like, don't these things have like GPS and shit on them? Don't they know where all of them are at all times? How does this happen? I mean, I'm assuming it's overworked workers and not enough maintenance and oversight, as things usually are in this country. Warlord, you still here? Dix, good evening. Well, I guess there can't be GPS under. You're right. They don't have some sort of sensor that tracks them and shit. GPS wouldn't be a thing under. You are correct. That is Justin being stupid. Can't get a satellite signal underground. They just use thousands of cameras? Wow. But I thought we'd have some kind of a device. Some sort of Wi-Fi signal or something. I don't even know where this happened. This is Judge Mary K. Holthus. It doesn't say where the... I don't know. Maybe we'll get into the story. A man who attacked a judge on camera, we have the video, refuses to reappear in court.
It's the heart-stopping video the whole country is talking about. A defendant taking a flying leap and attacking a judge. Today, that defendant was scheduled to be...
Fucking wow! I'd been saving it. I'd not watched it yet. Even Warlord had sent it to me in a PM.
Back in court to face additional charges, but at the last minute...
Holy shit!
Plans.
The out-of-control defendant who made a flying leap over the bench refused to appear in court today. Our Stacey Galandi is at the courthouse.
Officials tell Inside Edition...
Whoa. How do you refuse to appear in court? I don't believe that is your decision if you are detained. What? Gonna need some explanation here.
Refused to appear in court today. Our Stacey Galandi is at the courthouse.
Officials tell Inside Edition that the defendant flat out refused to make the walk through the tunnel system that links the courthouse to the jail where he's being held.
I mean, as we always say here on this show,
he's kicking authority in the balls.
There's another hearing scheduled for next Tuesday.
I think everybody would agree he's definitely a threat. I mean, I've been doing this for over 4 decades. I've seen fights in the courtrooms. I've seen outbursts, but this was one of a kind.
The drama began yesterday as 30-year-old
Diogo Redden was
sentenced after pleading guilty to attempted battery. At first, he sounds reasonable as he asks for a break.
I feel that, I shouldn't be, sent to prison.
Then the judge notes his long criminal history, including convictions for robberies and battery.
Got a lot going on, sir. I'm in a better place in my life.
The judge isn't buying his plea for probation.
But I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history.
That's when chaos erupts. Look at that leap. Redden goes flying right over the bench. Court officers in the Las Vegas courtroom pounce. The judge is somewhere under the bench trying to protect herself from his blows. 4 minutes later,
he's
versus a head injury, judge
beating the fuck out of the cops.
Clearly reeling from the attack. Redden's foster mother was in court when he lost it. In an exclusive interview with Inside Edition today, Karen Springer says Redden was off his meds.
What he did, no shape, form, or fashion do I condone it. You know, I was just as heartbreaking and shocked as anyone else. But like he told me, he just snapped.
Redden's outburst is just the latest instance of violence aimed at judges. We spoke to TV judge Glenda Hatchett.
Who cares what she has to say?
There it is. That someone would just snap like that. And it could have easily been a lot worse.
The judge wasn't badly hurt, but a called officer was taken to the hospital.
A lot going on, sir. I'm in a better place in my life.
The judge
watch it again.
For probation.
But I think it's time that he gets a taste of something else because I just can't with that history.
That's when chaos erupts. Look at that leap. Redden goes flying right over the bench. Court officers in the Las Vegas courtroom pounce. The judge is somewhere under the bench trying to protect herself from his blows. 4 minutes later, as the court officer nurses ahead,
he beat the fuck out of that cop.
Oltis reappears, clearly reeling from the attack. Redden's foster mother was in court when he lost it.
Is that Biggie on his shirt?
With Inside Edition today, Karen Springer says Redden was off his meds.
What he did, no shape, form, or fashion do I condone it. You know, I was just as heartbreaking and shocked as anyone else. But like he told me, he just snapped.
Redden's outburst is just the latest instance of violence aimed at judges.
I still don't understand how he refuses to appear in court. That's not your choice when you are detained. That's wild. You know I love those kinds of videos. It wasn't Taylor's Your Business, which was definitely featured on the best of. But I give him props. Go to North Carolina now, where a pastor apparently got really upset with a McDonald's worker.
Media after police point.
Tried to push him into the deep fryer. Is that what I just heard? What is going on in this country right now? The wheels are falling off. It's crazy out there. Don't go outside, people. Jesus Christ. I guess Mr. Pastor Dude just thought he could do whatever the fuck he wanted. What's the elevator story? Link me clinically. The hubris. We're going into this one completely blind. Find out what's going on. Find out what this news be doing here. Happened in Miami, apparently.
Evening off the top at 6 tonight. An elevator shootout leaving 2 people dead.
The crime scene unfolding at a Miami Gardens office building that houses a bank. Local 10 Samir Nefsi is live at the scene with what sparked the gunfire. Samir.
Eden Calvin, so that shooting taking place around 2 this afternoon here at the Miami Office Center. 2 people are dead, that according to Miami Gardens police. As you can see, they remain on scene. Now, this scene looks completely different than when we first brought it to you at 3 this afternoon. We can tell you that the information has continuously changed. However, police on scene still trying to piece everything together. Miami Gardens police confirming 2 men are dead following a shootout at an office building.
2 men were traveling in the elevator. As the elevator doors opened, 1 male began shooting at the other male. This incident occurred on the 5th floor.
One witness who did not want to give us her name or be shown describes the chaotic scene moments after shots rang out.
I hear boo boo boo. I opened the door and I seen just gun smoke powder on the floor.
Meanwhile, Sky 10 above the scene has a heavy police presence surrounded the Northwest 2nd Avenue building. Both victims were transported to an area hospital where they died. Our cameras capturing a man outside the building cuffed and later escorted into a police van.
We have not detained anyone. We have multiple witnesses, right now.
Our cameras also capturing another detainment of this group just around the corner. No word if it's related to the office space shootout.
Yeah, as I understand it, they just shot each other. Or
Bank of America on the...
It is possible that maybe one shot the other and then the bullet ricocheted. You're in a very small enclosed area. Idiots. You want to do a little foreign affairs here? Do some foreign news before we get to the politics. I thought the Iraq war ended, but apparently not. U.S. carrying out a drone strike in Baghdad.
The high-ranking Iraqi militia leader in Baghdad today.
It was part of a drone strike on the group's headquarters in the central part of the city. The U.S. blames the leader for attacks against U.S. troops stationed around the country. The Iraqi Ministry of Foreign Affairs has condemned the bombings. They say the ministry, quote, reserves its right to take a firm stance and all necessary measures to deter anyone who tries to harm its territory and its security forces.
CBS News White House reporter Willie J. Inman joins us now with more on this.
What up, Willie?
Willie, we want to ask you first about the shooting in Iowa that took place this morning. What is the reaction from the White House so far?
Hey there, Errol and Lana. Well, we know that the president has been briefed on that shooting.
Wait, what? Okay, I guess it was as it was happening or something. Let's get back to the Drone strike in Baghdad.
Essentially a change in tactics for the United States, going after personnel, going after people that it believes to be responsible for attacking and carrying out attacks on U.S. interest in the region. So quite the change and shift there in the Middle East as tensions continue to flare up with this conflict going on in Gaza. And that's why you have Secretary of State Antony Blinken traveling to the region today.
And talk to us more about that shift, Willie.
As I understand it, Israel wanted to attack Lebanon, wanted to attack Yemen. They just out here attacking everybody. Hide your kids, hide your wives.
Because this comes just a day after a blast ripped through a crowd in Iran that killed dozens. ISIS claimed responsibility for it.
Talk about that here in a second.
These incidents, as they add up, paint a picture of shifting priorities in the region for the U.S.
Yeah, and the U.S. was quick to say that they had nothing to do with this attack in Iran. The U.S. also mentioning that ISIS was likely responsible for this attack, and that's indeed what we have heard from those media reports
good evening.
Surrounding that attack. But one of the things I wanted to point out with Secretary Blinken's trip, he's going to several Arab capitals in the region. He's also going to visit the West Bank. He's going to visit Israel as well. And part of the reason why is to ease those tensions, to cool those tensions, and to prevent that war in Gaza from spreading to other parts of the region. Errol and Lana?
We know that that certainly is a top priority. All right, Willie J. Inman, thank you.
ISIS has claimed responsibility for the bombing in Iran, as I understand it. I mean, this is Western media's reporting.
The so-called Islamic State has
apparently it was
for an attack.
Apparently, it wasn't one bombing; it was two separate bombings
On a ceremony in Iran that killed more than 80 people. The terror group made the announcement on the messaging service Telegram. It said 2 of its members were responsible for twin explosions at commemorations of top commander Qasem Soleimani, who was assassinated by a U.S. drone in 2020. These were the deadliest attacks in the Islamic Republic's history. Let's bring in Ali Fathollah-Nejad. He's a political scientist with the think tank Center for Middle East and Global Order here in Berlin. Now, Islamic State have claimed responsibility for the attack. What's your assessment of how credible that claim is?
Excellent.
Well, that's a very good question. I mean, it could well be that the Islamic State, Daesh, has been behind this terror attack, given also the kind of confessional conflict which pits the Islamic State, an extremist Sunni organization, against the Islamic Republic, which is a Shia entity. So in this particular context, it would, of course, make perfect sense. But then again, another possibility is that the Islamic State is claiming that it has been behind this terror attack to portray its strength. But be it as it may, there is, given the past experiences also, we had other terror attacks that were attributed to the Islamic State. The truth of the matter is that there is very little likelihood that we will have some certitude about the perpetrators of this attack, because there will be no due process, I believe, in identifying the culprits.
Talking about identifying the culprits, Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, has said the attackers will face a, quote, harsh response, though he didn't point to any possible suspect. What kind of response could he mean?
Well, the Islamic Republic has pledged the same thing 4 years ago after the U.S. drone killing of General Soleimani, that the U.S. will face I quote, hard revenge. But we didn't see it, so it's absolutely unclear what the Islamic Republic will do, because also these attacks are happening in the context of, difficulties for the regime inside and outside of its borders. So it could well instrumentalize these attacks to further securitize the domestic arena with a double election on the horizon on March 1st for the parliament and the Assembly of Experts, who is going to select the next supreme leader, for which the regime knows that they're going to be probably a very low voter turnout. So this may be, the connection domestically, and externally, the Islamic Republic has been dealt some important blows very recently with the killing of not only Aruri in Beirut, but also a week earlier of a top IRGC commander in Syria, probably at the hands of Israel. So in any case, whoever might be the perpetrator of this attack, I'm quite sure, and if you look at the Iranian state narrative, that the Islamic Republic is surely going to instrumentalize it for its own power purposes.
Now, there has been some speculation that Israel may have been behind the attack in Kerman. The Iranian-backed Hezbollah group in Lebanon has been engaged in low-level fighting with Israel since October 7th. How great do you think is the risk?
Excellent question.
Well, according to the Iranian state narrative, the Islamic State has been actually invented by Israel and the United States. So all of this sits very well with the kind of Iranian narrative, but it is very unlikely that Israel has been the perpetrator, but because the pattern of Israeli attacks in Iran have been a wholly different one. Israel has been targeting regime, military and nuclear infrastructures, and has been shying away from not very clearly targeting those infrastructures, and such a terrorist attack that has been, seen victims, casualties amongst civilians, will only be counterproductive for Israel. So I think, Israel is very unlikely to have been behind this particular attack here.
Thank you very much, Ali Fatahullah there.
Yes, him being from a think tank raised a red flag for me as well. But the fact that he was in Berlin and not D.C. Made me trust him a little bit more. I thought that was some good insight. If it was Israel, I don't think Iran would be hesitant to claim it was Israel. So that would be the piece of evidence that would turn me away from blaming Israel for that attack. Apparently our think tank friend also thought that Israel not behind it. Good time for weapons manufacturers. I'm sure Raytheon and Boeing, all those kinds of companies are raking in the money right now. And a consequence of that would be that our lawmakers have made a hell of a lot of money off of it. Once again, members of Congress outperformed the S&P 500, sometimes by huge amounts. And there's a smiling picture of Nancy Pelosi for your evening. Or Speaker Emeritus. Wonder why she wasn't keen to give up her seat in Congress. Move the fuck on and leave the rest of us alone. Congress only managed to pass 27 bills in 2023, but many of its members had a much more productive year in the stock market. According to a new report that highlights their trading performance, which was helped by the fact that those in Congress are exempt from certain insider trading rules. Some of these members saw the value of their portfolio grow by well over 50%. Thanks in part to some well-timed, maybe even suspiciously well-timed trades, a third of the 100 members of Congress who reported financial transactions this year beat the S&P 500, which was up 24% in 2023. According to Unusual Whales, a stock and options news service, when broken out by party, Republicans earned an average of 18% returns on their trades, while Democrats earned a 33% return on their trades, according to the report. report says that the difference is explained by Republicans having large parts of their portfolio in financials, oil, and commodities, all of which had rough years. This year, Democrats absolutely dominated their Republican counterparts. Dems were up 31%, Republicans 18%. Meanwhile, the S&P 500 itself was up 24%. Many traded despite conflicts in their committees in record numbers. Some members of Congress reported fewer trades compared with during the pandemic. They often made a killing. Stock and options transactions are usually reported as a range, with the true value of trade sitting somewhere in between. By adding the maximum disclosed amounts, Unusual Wells concluded that trading members of Congress could have made up to $1 billion in stock and options trades in 2023, hundreds of millions of dollars more than in 2022. Total value of trades by elected officials is complicated by the fact that some of them seemingly flout the 45-day deadline for reporting transactions and file their transactions years later with no penalty, according to the report. The actual number and value of total trades could therefore be higher. I think we will indeed see movement on this. Because, like, there is an appetite for something to be done about members of Congress trading stocks from both parties. I think, and, like, this would go a long way in fixing our politics. I am of the thought process that it should be completely illegal to trade stocks while you're a member of Congress, and you should have to divest everything. Because there have been bills that have been floated about doing a blind trust. I think you should have to divest from everything. Apparently, like, Paul Pelosi is one of the top traders in the world. Now, I believe, I'm not entirely certain because I am not a pre-watch Andy, but I believe insider trading was the topic at hand when my good friend, Representative Dan Crenshaw, whose eye pussy looks so dry, it could use some of my very wet urine in it. I believe that is the topic that was being discussed by one Mr. Jesse Waters and one Mr. Dan Crenshaw.
After a lackluster 2022, 23 was a hot year for stocks. The S&P 500 was up 24%. So how's your portfolio looking? Bet it's not looking as good as members of Congress because politicians crushed the market last year. Their performance smoked.
See, they're like, this is on Fox News. There is an appetite in both parties, in the rank and file members of both parties. We may see action on this in the next few years, but it's going to be up to us to put pressure on our Congress people to pass this legislation.
And I mean smoked professional money managers who do this all day for a living. Let's take a look back at 2023's best performing stock pickers in Congress. Thanks to stock market congressional expert and tracker Unusual Wales. Coming in at number one, Democrat Congressman Brian Higgins from New York. He was up a whopping 239%.
God
but he's going
damn.
out on top. He's leaving Congress in February. Smart. Sitting in at number two, Republican Congressman Mark Green from Tennessee, who was up 122% this year. Democrat Senator Dick Blumenthal, also on the list of lawmakers who destroyed the market this year. He was up 68%. What about the Wolf of Washington? Nancy Pelosi, she came in 41 points above the S&P 500 this year. Well done, Nance. I mean, Paulie. Next is the man who really believes Biden talked to Hunter's business clients about the weather the whole time. Dan Goldman was up 53% this year. That boy, Danny.
Whoa, Jesse. It's not that he believes it. That's what the testimony was.
And then we have Republican Congressman Dan Crenshaw, who beat the market by 13 points. Overall, Democrats outperformed Republicans by about 13 points. Our lawmakers made over $1 billion in financial transactions this year. A lot of them investing in companies that they had inside information on. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what corruption looks like.
Absolutely.
And that is why Congress
I agree with Jesse Waters.
Passed a ban on insider stock trading. Republicans are being targeted with bogus 911 calls designed to have them shot by the cops.
Wait, what? I thought Crenshaw went on with him. Representative Dan Crenshaw tore into Jesse Waters after the Fox News star seemingly accused the Texas lawmaker on Tuesday of insider trading, calling the primetime host a fucking hack while invoking Waters' past infidelity. Crenshaw didn't stop there either. In a series of stories on his 2.5 million follower Instagram account, the Texas Republican also claimed that Fox News canceled a pre-scheduled Wednesday night interview in retaliation for his attacks against Waters. Guess I hurt their feelings by calling out their bullshit. Fox News source with knowledge, meanwhile, told the Daily Beast that Crenshaw was never scheduled to appear on any Fox News show on Wednesday evening. I can imagine both of them are liars. Neither of the sources in this are honest actors. God, I'd give anything to piss in Dan Crenshaw's eye pussy. Crenshaw's office did not immediately respond to a request for comment. During a short 2-minute segment on his primetime Fox News program, Waters brought up a new report by the market analyst group Unusual Wells. I didn't see anything wrong with what Waters said towards the end of the segment. Waters noted that Crenshaw also beat the market by 13 points. I feel like he could have pointed out a lot of other Republicans, so I wonder what his beef was with Crenshaw specifically. Hey, you fucking hack, if you're going to accuse me of literal corruption, get your facts straight and man up and accuse me to my face, the conservative congressman wrote in one post. You're a fucking clown, desperate for clickbait. Crenshaw went on to claim he only had $10,000 invested in stocks and hadn't made trades in over a year. He also insisted he has never had more than roughly $20,000 invested in the market while he's been in Congress. After the Daily Beast reported on Crenshaw's pandemic stock trading in 2021, the congressman's communications team said he probably purchased roughly $30,000 worth of stock at the time. Fox knows this, but they're desperate for fake controversy to get clicks. Crenshaw continued. Waters is a tool making millions to push conspiracies on TV, that's true as well, and bash veterans like me who are barely a fraction of his net worth. Wake up, America. The political entertainment industry is almost always lying to you. I agree with Dan Crenshaw there. Oh, fuck. He didn't just leave it there, however. In several more stories on his Instagram page, Crenshaw's vitriol towards Waters grew ever more personal. I'm sitting here trying to feed my 3-month-old, and this dirtbag millionaire at Fox is accusing me of being a criminal with zero evidence. Stop watching these mediocre entertainers. Stop letting wealthy elitists like Jesse, misspelled, Waters, claim to be fighting for you. They live in Manhattan and can't stand normal people in red states. They think you're stupid and feed you bullshit to rile you up. Holy shit, I've said that exact thing. Apparently Waters doesn't live in Manhattan. Insisting that Waters grew up with a silver spoon, Crenshaw said the Fox star's family is made up of well-connected journalists and politicians, while fuming that Waters has fooled his fans into believing he's some genuine blue-collar conservative. From there, he brought up Waters' past workplace affair, which resulted in the Fox star divorcing his first wife and marrying his ex-producer. Yeah, he's such a conservative, he cheated on his wife and then left her with twins while he went off with another Fox producer. Continuing the Scorched Earth campaign, Crenshaw threw another low blow at the anti-woke host, joking that Jesse Waters seems like the type of dude who pees sitting down. Well, I will tell you, Dan, I do not pee sitting down because it would be impossible to piss in your open high pussy. Ooh. No problems with anybody who pees sitting down. Apparently a lot of people enjoy it and they think it's Larry David pees sitting down and he's my idol. Following his Tuesday night social media tirade, Crenshaw revealed on Wednesday afternoon that the conservative cable giant had nixed an interview for later that evening. Let them fight. I love it. Tearing each other apart. I'm into it. I'm here for it. Did you know that there is a conspiracy theory surrounding Donald Trump's ear? I don't even know what the fuck it is. Donald Trump's weird ear photo raises questions. Let's watch this video here. Is this the photo? What's weird about it? I don't get it. Donald Trump has once again been mocked for his appearance, this time over a weird ear. Trump hosted a New Year's Eve function at his expansive Mar-a-Lago. Which, by the way, can I get video of this? Let's finish with the ear. This is the ear photo. I don't even see what's so weird about his ear. Some are suggesting it's a scar from cosmetic surgery. Like a facelift scar. I didn't even... is that what they're talking about? Ear looks weird. AI can never get the ears right. That happened at New Year's at Mar-a-Lago, which was apparently a hoot. Have you guys heard who the special guest entertainer was at Mar-a-Lago? None other than 90s rap star Vanilla Ice. Is that Marjorie Taylor Greene dancing with him on stage? Donald Trump's annual bash was only slightly more star-studded than last year's mess, with Vanilla Ice apparently did the turtle song. Go Ninja, go Ninja, go. Do you think some of those bag-up dancers are wondering how they got here? Like, what did I do in my life to end up a backup dancer for Vanilla Ice at Mar-a-Lago? They're not very good. To be honest with you, Vanilla Ice sounded like he was on top of things. Doesn't seem like his performance was all that bad. This was not the first time that Vanilla Ice, whose real name is Rob Van Winkle, that's his real name? That can't be his real name. That's his real name? This is not the first time that Vanilla Ice, whose real name is Rob Van Winkle, performed at Mar-a-Lago. The 90s star, who lives in South Florida, made an appearance at the club's New Year's Eve party in 2021, where he's criticized for aligning himself with the former president. It's not about politics at all, Van Winkle said in a statement. Given that song residuals don't last forever, that hardly comes as a surprise. But Van Winkle's slot at this year's party included a special guest, his good friend Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, from Turtles 2. I'm actually kind of surprised at how good Vanilla Ice sounds. So, the people of Mar-a-Lago, the people in attendance there, could have probably done a lot worse in terms of entertainment. It's a shitty turtle. Well, man, not like you can get Jim Henson to do that for you. Not the worst turtle costume either. You gotta give it props. But why is he not doing the go ninja, go? Let's face it, like, Ninja Turtles 2 came out in like 1992. I was 7 or 8. I was right in the middle of that fucking shit. And that's probably like the median age of the people that are at that party. So I kind of understand. Like, once again, when it came to the musical guests at the New Year's countdown, seemed very much geared towards me. So next week we're going to be on Wednesday, I believe, when Fox News will host a Trump town hall, while CNN has a primary debate between Niggy and Ron DeSantis, I guess. Fox News announced on Tuesday that it is planning to host a town hall with former President Trump in Des Moines in Iowa on January 10th. January 10th, that is next Wednesday. This coming Wednesday. It will air at the same time CNN is set to host the GOP primary debate. You guys choose which one you want. The latest instance of the former president and the 2024 GOP frontrunner snubbing debates and instead participating in counter-programming. Fox News Town Hall will be set to air on January 10th from 9 to 10 p.m. Co-moderated by Brett Baer and Martha McCollum. Trump has not participated in any of the previous Republican primary debates. In October, he urged the Republican National Committee to cancel the remaining debates, which, honestly, what the fuck are they for? The CNN debate, also scheduled for January 10th at 9 p.m., will be hosted by Jake Tapper and Dana Bash. Florida Governor Ron DeSantis and former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley are likely to be the only two GOP presidential hopefuls to take the stage. Can we get Vivek up there? I mean, it'd make it more interesting. Haley, DeSantis, and Trump were the only GOP candidates to clear the polling threshold to qualify for the CNN debate. Entrepreneur and GOP hopeful Vivek Ramaswamy, who did not qualify, released a statement Tuesday slamming the CNN debate. He said that he will instead be participating in a live town hall with Tim Pool. I don't know. Tim Pool and Vivek kind of sounds more fun. You guys decide which we're going to do. Maybe I'll have all three up. We'll go back and forth. Haley on Tuesday called on Trump to participate in the CNN debate, noting the field's dwindling size. Meanwhile, which I mean, we're going to be seeing Trump possibly come off more ballots for the primary. So far, it's been in blue states that aren't actually going to make a difference. And again, we're talking about the primary here. If enough blue states pull out, can it cost Trump the GOP nomination? Is that possible? And we're looking at a situation where, like, even in Colorado, he's going to appear on the ballot because there is a stay from the courts till the Supreme Court decides, which I think we're going to get sooner than later. But now Illinois is looking to kick Trump off of their ballot, this following Maine last week.
New at 5, Illinois is now the latest state where former President Donald Trump faces a ballot challenge. A petition was filed today calling on the state's Board of Education, our Board of Elections, to disqualify him for his role in the January 6th insurrection.
I think the deadline to print was like today.
Live in the control room with those details. Andrew?
Well, Jim, that petition was filed just minutes after the Trump campaign filed its paperwork to appear in the upcoming March Republican primary. And it was filed by 5 Illinois voters, all who come from different walks of life. Their attorney describes them as...
Guys, I've got socks, like right here. He is like getting ready to knock my camera over. And he's like sticking his head up here looking right at me. Like he's staring me in the eyes right now. He's staring you in the eyes right now. I don't know what he wants. No socks, you can't knock the camera over. Socks, get down. Socks, get down. Socks, get down. I'll have him say hey first. Don't worry. God, I hope you heard him. He's shy. Say hey to him. Ain't everybody socks? He's been very needy. Yes, buddy, I love you. Yes.
Coming together to uphold the U.S. Constitution.
If you try to overthrow the government, you cannot then be part of the government.
It's the core argument being offered by a group of Illinois voters. who filed a petition to the state's Board of Elections requesting a decision that the name of candidate Donald J. Trump shall not be printed on the official ballot as a candidate in the state's upcoming Republican primary election. The petitioners, who are being represented by a group that describes themselves as a nonpartisan voting rights organization, Free Speech for People, and a Chicago-based law firm, cite a provision in the 14th Amendment known as the Insurrectionist Disqualification Clause that says no person shall hold any office who shall have engaged in insurrection or rebellion, noting that Trump, during his impeachment proceedings, admitted that the events of January 6th constituted insurrection.
We have seen Donald Trump tweet. We have seen Donald Trump double down with pride on things that happened on January 6th, to the extent that the Electoral Board needs to evaluate.
His own words, the objectors say, not only implicate and therefore disqualify him, but also recent rulings in Colorado and Maine presented nearly identical legal and factual issues on this challenge.
Tomorrow you may get some more states, and next week you may get even more.
According to legal experts, this is just the beginning of what will be an onslaught of challenges to keep Trump off the ballot. This storm will finally calm, legal analyst Irv Miller says, when the U.S. Supreme Court moves in.
This chaos will continue. So it's until the court makes a decision. Every day is going to be a different challenge. Every day is going to be more chaos in the election system in this country. It has to happen. The Supreme Court has to rule on it pretty quickly.
Now, multiple lawsuits aiming to keep Trump off the ballot that specifically cite the 14th Amendment are currently pending in at least 15 states. Now, we did reach out to the Trump campaign to get a response on this latest challenge here in Illinois. We did not hear back. Reporting in the control room, I'm Andrew Ramos, CBS 2 News.
Holding this cat like a little baby. I guess that's what he wanted. He wanted attention or something. Bye, baby. You guys can't hear it, but he is purring incredibly loud. He's the oldest. He's like 14 years old. And he's fat. He's so heavy. And he's the, so he was about 5 or 6 when I got him. And so, like, he was a stray until I took him in. Smokey was still somewhat, like, he was like a teen. He was 2 or 3 when I got him. So he was still somewhat young. So Smokey is grown, and then Maynard was probably like 1.5 when I got him. So they have grown up, but like Socks was a completely grown cat. But he is probably the one that has stuck up my ass the most. Like a little baby. Maynard is fucking psycho. Aren't you, bud? He's sitting right here. He was not impressed with me saying that about him. Oh, shit. So not a good day from Trump. Illinois trying to kick him off the ballot. This also as Congress releases a report about his financial entanglements across the globe as well as his family.
White House for sale. That's the name of a new report put out by House Oversight Committee Democrats saying that former President Donald Trump's businesses received millions of dollars from foreign entities.
We all knew it.
Different countries during his presidency. The 156 pages actually highlight payments by governments, including China, Saudi Arabia, and others during Trump's presidency. Senior reporter Catherine Falders has the details now on this report. So do these payments actually violate the Constitution's Foreign Emoluments Clause?
Yeah, Karen, what this report is claiming is $7.8 million from these foreign governments. On its face, it would appear that it violates the Emoluments Clause, which essentially says that federal officials, including
I would say at least 7.8.
money from foreign governments without the approval of Congress. But it's important to point out here that this wasn't fully tested during Trump's administration. Remember, he was sued for allegedly violating the Emoluments Clause when he was president. This didn't really progress in the courts, and the Supreme Court ultimately decided not to take up one of those cases. But it's certainly something that you will continue to hear from members of Congress, from these investigative committees, the House Oversight Committee, especially as we get closer to the election.
So while we have you, the U.S. Supreme Court is expected to take up this Colorado State Supreme Court decision. We've been
when?
Force. It should disqualify Trump from the 2024 ballot under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment. When do you think we could actually see a decision on this?
Yeah, it's a good question, and we're learning a bit of an incremental update, which is that the Supreme Court has just acknowledged receipt of Trump's appeal. It is docketed on the Supreme Court docket, and what we know, of course, is that the justices will meet and conference tomorrow on Friday for their first conference of the year, where they will essentially discuss any votes and votes on petitions. But I think it's worth pointing out here, Kira, just how rare this is. The Supreme Court has never ruled on this provision in the 14th Amendment, so this could be consequential across the country, because it's not just Colorado. There are dozens of other states who are pursuing similar laws. So at the end of the day, when the court takes this up, obviously we still don't know. It's to be determined, but it could have a consequential effect down the road.
Well, we'll follow it. Catherine Falders, thanks.
George Stephanopoulos here.
Get up, George.
YouTube channel. If you'd like to...
Fucking George Stephanopoulos. So, right-wingers have been all up in arms about the release of the Jeffrey Epstein documents, which detail people like Alan Dershowitz, Stephen Hawking, Michael Jackson, Donald Trump, and Bill Clinton being documented with Jeffrey Epstein.
Release of court documents related to sex offender Jeffrey Epstein and his longtime business partner and girlfriend, Ghislaine Maxwell, is finally over. After 41 court filings were unsealed, it unraveled a long list of names of well-known people, some with a connection to the disgraced financier. Those names actually included Michael Jackson, Leonardo DiCaprio, Stephen Hawking, Naomi Campbell.
Leonardo DiCaprio, not surprising to me.
Documents also reveal new details about an old groping accusation against Prince Andrew, and also an effort to depose former President Bill Clinton. Our senior investigative correspondent, Aaron Katursky, has been digging through all the documents and looking at all the names mentioned. Also, our legal contributor and trial attorney, Brian Buckmeyer, joins us once again to sort of decipher all of this. So, Aaron, we've been talking all day about the names of those listed in the documents, but there's 16 individuals who actually challenged the court to have their names redacted, right? What more can you tell us about that?
Some of them were minors when they were victimized by Jeffrey Epstein and allegedly by Ghislaine Maxwell, and the judge agreed that those names do not need to be released publicly because they've never gone public about the accusations and they've tried to protect their anonymity. There are others who are still petitioning the court, including one identified as Jane Doe number 107, who says the country that she lives in would make it dangerous for her if her name were to be publicly associated with somebody like Jeffrey Epstein. So the judge is considering her objection to being outed in these documents. But by and large, Kira, many of these names have been out there before, maybe not in such a public way, but they've been out there in court filings previously and were subsequently redacted. Now that it's all sort of coming out, the judge has said that there's nothing lurid here. There is no...
Yeah, I don't feel like we learned any new revelations from the documents, as far as I can tell. Michael Jackson was surprising to me.
In these documents, and so there was no reason, she said, to keep them sealed any longer.
So, Brian, are you surprised that such a small number of people actually fought to have their names redacted?
Yes and no, and the reason why I say yes is because I would have thought that these documents might have had more potential Jane Does, and I understand why Jane Does are coming forward, as Aaron outlined, to say, hey, I don't want my name out there. I don't want to be associated with Jeffrey Epstein. I'm a victim here, and so don't bring up my name. But in terms of the no, when we look at the vast majority of the names here, like Aaron said, there's nothing really there. And so what if an attorney asked if, hey, did you see this person when you went to Jeffrey Epstein's island, and there's no criminal or civil liability from saying, yes, I saw that person? I don't see a legal reason to say no, and I don't see a reason why, even in the court of public opinion, you would say, hey, I don't want people to know that I was asked about, even though I didn't do anything wrong.
Any of these motherfuckers that traveled to this island are suspect to me. Any of them that knew him, any of them that went to his house. That includes you, Noam Chomsky, a man who I have respected for years and years and years. Fuck all of you.
There being no legal basis to keep their name out, I see no reason why they would fight it.
And so, Aaron, there's still more documents to be released. What do you think we can expect from those?
We expect another tranche as soon as this afternoon, and maybe more tonight or the next day. There are about 275 documents all told, so hundreds and hundreds of pages total. And we're not sure what additional names there might be, but again, there are no accusations that these people did anything wrong. They were perhaps just asked about in a deposition or were mentioned as a potential witness, as someone that had some kind of an association with Epstein, that might know something about his sex trafficking. Because in the end, Kira, that's what the lawyers were hoping to do, was to expose Epstein's vast global sex trafficking network and have the public sort of question how he was able to get away with it for so long. And part of the reason that the lawyers believe he was able to get away with it is because he had this network of influential friends. Big banks were funding it, and they've won a settlement from big
Prince
banks.
Andrew.
So accountability has started, and they believe that the unsealing of all these documents is only going to further the justice that they say the victims deserve.
And I'm curious, Brian, for you, I mean, what
There's bullshit about not being able to sweat.
Also the names that have been mentioned.
I mean, the major question I have is, who's next? I mean, last night we saw a number of these documents released, I think around 6:30. And so I think for the most part, we're all kind of looking around the same time today.
Yes, I hope Kimmel sues the fuck out of Aaron Rodgers. Fucking Aaron Rodgers seems like a real dick. And for those of you who don't know, Aaron Rodgers was on the Pat McAfee podcast, videocast show, whatever it is. I think it's on the ESPN. Not exactly sure. And Aaron Rodgers joked that Jimmy Kimmel was sweating because he was going to be revealed in the Epstein documents. He was not. And not that I'm the biggest Jimmy Kimmel fan. He's not bad. But fuck Aaron Rodgers. And I like Pat McAfee, and apparently Pat McAfee has apologized profusely to Jimmy Kimmel.
To say, are we going to get a similar situation as we did yesterday? And in terms of the names, who's going to be named? What association did they have? Or was their name simply brought up because this was an investigatory kind of questioning of who was there and who knew what? Or is it going to be, was this person doing this or this person doing that? But I think for the most part, we can assume that if there was any kind of criminal or civil impropriety, that law enforcement would have had the opportunity to subpoena those documents, and we would have seen cases come forward. But I know some people are saying, hey, what about Prince Andrew? Why aren't we looking more into that? And so I'm kind of curious about those things.
Aaron, Brian, thanks so much. Stay tuned for the next stack.
Yeah, apparently some were released earlier today, and because that news story was actually titled "New Epstein Documents Released," but apparently they had no clue what was in them. Maybe we'll find out by Sunday. Fox News saying Bill Clinton has responded to the new unsealed Epstein documents.
We begin the final hour of Fox and Friends with a Fox News alert. You got hundreds of pages of Jeffrey Epstein's court documents now unsealed.
Several prominent figures
again.
The documents, including former presidents like Bill Clinton and
what dude?
Many of the people who have been publicly named, including Clinton, have not been accused of any wrongdoing. But the documents are answering some questions about Epstein's web of associates and famous friends who...
Oh, Clinton totally banged some underage girls, right? Like, there's not a doubt in any of our minds he did it, right? Fuck Bill Clinton.
Would meet him at his various locations around the globe.
Peter Doocy joins us now with more details on this. Hey, Peter.
Good morning. And the former President Bill Clinton's team is now reminding us that by now it's been about 20 years since the last time Bill Clinton and Jeffrey Epstein talked. But he is right there in the pages of this deposition that's now been released by Epstein accuser Joanna Schoberg. So the question from an attorney was, did Jeffrey
please stop
about Bill Clinton? And she said that he said one time that Clinton likes them young, referring to girls. Also in this deposition, one of the most famous magicians in history, David Copperfield, the accuser Schoberg was asked, have you ever met David Copperfield? She said yes. She was asked again, can you tell me what that was? She said, sure. Someone called me from the house and said that he would be there, and if I wanted to come have dinner, then I could meet him. It is very important to point out here, neither of these men, Clinton or Copperfield, are accused of anything inappropriate, and it's
David Copperfield
convicted Epstein accomplice Ghislaine Maxwell, who is in jail right now. Her lawyer is saying that these crimes are about men abusing women, but the only person in jail is a woman. Back to you.
And Peter, one of the other names is Michael.
I mean, she's got a point.
King of Pop. Do we know anything about the circumstances? Because we know that, for instance, Bill Clinton flew on his plane a bunch of times. A lot of celebrities and famous people. Former President Trump flew a couple of times, but there's no suggestion anything happened.
Doozy!
About Michael Jackson.
Good on you.
Somebody asked an accuser if she ever saw anybody really famous at one of Epstein's houses, and she said that she saw Michael Jackson. So it does paint a picture of a very rich guy who liked having very famous people around. But the descriptions a lot of the time are just that somebody was there, not that they were doing anything bad.
Right, and there is no smoking gun. There's no suggestion that any laws were broken regarding any of it, but it gives us something to talk about.
Absolutely.
All right,
Thanks,
Peter, thank you very much.
The other person.
Yeah, good on you, Doocy. Good on you, Doocy, for bringing up Trump. Also, I don't know that Doocy likes Trump very much. I called this dude every name but Neil Cavuto earlier. I called him Brett Baer. I called him Stuart Varney. He's doing a Jimmy Kimmel bit. Speaking of Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy Kimmel brings on celebrities to read mean tweets about themselves. Apparently that's what Neil Cavuto is going to be doing right now, is reading hate mail.
I'm just back, and I heard that some of you were asked to come up with some resolutions for me. Now, I was worried about this, and here is why. Some of you weren't remotely up to the challenge. Take David F. on Facebook, who has this resolution for himself. Remember to change the channel when Cavuto comes on. Monica on X. Can corrupt Cavuto even read? Yes, I can read. Prompter, if you can keep going on this. Michael M. on X. I'll pass. Oh, really? Then why did you write I'll pass when you didn't really pass? You wrote I'll pass. Anyway, finally, some were ready to offer helpful advice, like Harold in New Rochelle, New York. How about resolving not to be such a left-wing lunatic? All right, don't be a left-wing lunatic. Got it. Esther emails, lose weight, lose the attitude, lose the toupee, lose the Ringling Brothers outfits, and lose your way to work so that you never find a studio again. P.S. Happy New Year. Happy New Year to you as well. Benny in Atlanta, make a resolution to stop saying bad things about Trump. He's perfect. You're just pathetic.
He's perfect. I had an argument with a right-winger earlier today about how Trump supporters are in a cult. And he literally told me, like, they find fault with Trump. They don't think he's perfect. No, they absolutely do. What do you think this is? Saying it right there. He's perfect. You're just pathetic.
Carol in Brooklyn, would it kill you while ripping Joe Biden's economy to now and then go after Donald Trump and his far worse economy? You never seem to say boo about him. I guess once a right-wing nut, always a right-wing nut. Pathetic. Boy, I can't win. Anyway, Porter emails, fair and balanced, that's a nasty word. Why did
ass
up to CNN now and be done with it? They love the Trump bashing there. Make my year and just disappear. Well, I'm not disappearing.
Is Neil Cavuto a Trump basher? I was not aware of this.
Tony V emails, here's a good resolution. Retire or just die. Doesn't really matter what you do first. That sounds like a cruel thing to say. Anyway, this from DL. Quit. You suck. You are a left wing. I can't say that word.
Asshole.
Hi, Neil. I heard all the emails you read before Christmas, and they got on you mainly about Trump. I do not agree with most of what you say, but I'm still obsessed with watching you. You're not alone. So be nicer this year. I will try to. Okay, we'll both try to be nice. Levon. Don't be a liberal in disguise. Fess up. Colleen.
He's a rhino.
Retiring now, so we don't have to listen to you bad-mouthing Trump. I watch Fox in the afternoon for Martha McCallum, but if you are on that day, I change the channel. I can't stand the sound of your voice. What's wrong with my voice? Patty, don't ever mention Adele on your show again. Just mention people who respect America.
Who doesn't love Adele?
What it does for them. Serious, Patty? I mean,
why did we have to pick Skyfall? Why couldn't we have picked Hello or Rumor Has It? Like, why Skyfall?
Listen to that voice. No matter what you might think of Adele or a politician, I have no idea what it is. She's a goddess, and that is the voice of an angel. And it makes a lot of people uncomfortable that a guy old enough to be her father can say that she is an angel. Anyway, leave her alone. A lot of you say that, maybe it's just the way I go about the show. Moving on, this one from Chris. Dear Neil, you do a fantastic job, both on your 4 o'clock show and your Fox Business shows. I would respectfully suggest that your resolution should be to stop or dramatically reduce interrupting your guests. No one at Fox cuts on someone answer as incessantly as do you. With all due respect, Happy New Year. Well, Happy New Year to you as well. Ditto Ralph, who writes, the best resolution for you, Mr. Cavuto, is to stop interrupting the interviewee before they finish answering your questions. You just can't help yourself, can you? You are by far the worst interviewer on Fox.
Now, as someone who gets accused of interrupting people when they call in, usually it's because they're trailing off and not actually answering my question, and I'm trying to get them to home back in on the actual topic at hand instead of filibustering or bringing up some nonsense that doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about. Socks, what the fuck is your deal?
Things to say, but I just couldn't be bothered. Peg, Neil, you should resolve to learn a new word for very, or at least curtail your use of it. Everything can't be very, very good, very, very interesting, very, very helpful. In the end, you are just very, very annoying. Well, you're very right about this. Pretty
good.
Very, very intent on changing things. And pronto, I am equally intent on being very, very right about changing things. So thank you very, very much. JW, resolve to not wear used car salesman sport coats.
Oh no, I like that sport coat.
The sport coat thing. Carolyn, only resolution should be to stay as you are. You and Brett Baer are class acts through and through. Well, I like the company you want to keep there. Michael from Toronto, Neil, you are informative and wonderful. Your resolution is to keep...
I know I cry after I read the things people say about me.
And Sandra on Facebook, I think you are awesome and just don't think you should change anything, really. Well, that's my goal, just live with what I got. Even families are getting into these resolution suggestions, including this wonderful bunch. We all think you're the funniest, warmest, cutest, and most brilliant anchor out there. Your smile lights up our home, and every word out of your mouth stimulates
his family.
You are the very embodiment of a saint, and no one handles a grill better than Neil Cavuto. That makes you not only delicious, but a great dad, too. Signed, Mary, Tara, Jeremy, and Bradley Cavuto. Oh, you guys. How did that one slip in there? Anyway, this is coming in via fan on Facebook. In our opinion, you are the best newsman out there. Your show is not opinionated, and there is no yelling over each other. You report the news. Your show is our...
Hey,
Please
I'm
keep
the
up
best
the good
news
work.
show out there.
Unfortunately, there are many toxic people out there. And they are very toxic and very mean. Rebecca, you just keep up the good work. I think your show is fantastic, even though my husband calls you Elmer Fudd. Your interviews are great. I always record the show just in case. Happy New Year and best wishes for good health. That was nice. But the Elmer Fudd thing, that's the one that confuses me.
That's what's going to make him cry.
And then the good, the bad, the indifferent. You know, there's some people who seem to say, I repeat myself and I interrupt and all this. But a lot of times I just interrupt myself. This way I can keep track of it. But it was good for a lot of you to offer this advice. I'm going to take a lot of it personally. And the stuff that's critical about me or my physique or anything else, do know that the camera adds 50 pounds. That's a fact.
50?
Some people who see me in person said, it's not the camera. But anyway, Happy New Year, everyone. Let's make...
Okay, hold on. A psychic predicts a loss for Trump. We've got to watch this. This was not on my list, but we're watching it.
Fortune tellers, we could be tempting fate. But at a dinner party, I was given a delightful reading. And when I asked her about Trump, she said there'd be a grave injustice this fall, and we may not even have an election.
What?
Therefore, we needed a second opinion. Paula Roberts is the English psychic who is on set to give us a reading right now.
Who looks batshit fucking crazy.
Paula, for you to give me a reading on President Trump.
Just the one card.
One card.
One card. Let's do
Doing tarot?
One card. We like that one.
What?
I mean, I do recognize that I'm at Fox TV. I have a sense of loss. A sense of loss. But it's very specific. No, let me move on. It's a sense of loss. It's as if he may be thinking more about what he's lost and not still taking full advantage of what he still has.
That's a great interpretation, Paula.
It's true. It's true. I mean, I don't make it up.
Let's see President Joe Biden. What will his year look like?
Let's look at Joe Biden. Lots and lots and lots and lots of money. Lots of money. I mean,
from China?
Oh, you are cheeky. I didn't say from where.
Lots of money.
A lot of money.
Is very interesting.
I mean, above, okay, for whatever is his normal, it's way above. That's when I say lots.
Wow.
Because I deal with everybody of every possible income, so that's a lot.
All right, I'm going to put you in touch with James Comer after this reading. Please tell us what Jesse Waters' year will look like.
And I've got something more to tell you about.
Oh, well, this is fun.
It's an interesting aspect of the young, dynamic, very, very, very bright person. Quick.
Well, that's not Jesse Waters.
I know you so well, but somebody quick, bright, sharp. When it says young, it doesn't mean say immature, but with still that amount of energy.
Not immature, you're saying?
No.
Are you sure mine wasn't the money card?
I am sure you were quite wealthy.
I do not change what I see.
Okay, Paula.
But actually, three other things came up for you when I was contemplating coming here today. And I'm just going to throw them out. I'll do the neutral ones first. I got Greece, Australia, and baby.
Another baby?
Well, that's what I came up with.
Emma,
that's what I came up with.
Don't watch this.
Greece and Australia.
Okay.
He does have greasy hair.
I thought you were talking about hair grease.
No. I wouldn't be so rude.
It's okay.
Am I the psychic?
Please tell us what America should be looking for in 24.
Great happiness.
Yeah.
Great happiness. I mean, that's just full of joy, happiness, contentment. I mean, it's I tell you, it's a funny way of putting it. It's as big as the money card is.
Ooh.
It's big.
Big.
Big, happy.
Big happy.
Big happy.
It's a big happy year for America.
Yes.
It's a big happy year for Jesse Waters Primetime. It's a big year for you, Paula. Thank you for joining us.
My pleasure. Thank you so much for asking me. I do appreciate it.
We're going to take this to the bank, shall we?
Oh,
I can't wait to show this clip on the best of next year and see how all her psychic predictions turn out. God damn. Yeah, like this country's going to be happy in 2024. In 2024. Did you know that there is a pinup calendar released by Conservative Dad featuring some of the hottest women of the some of the hottest women.
You live in sexual anarchy
of the conservative movement. It has apparently riled up some right wingers.
Have you heard about the Conservative Dad's Calendar? Made a bunch of waves when we were all celebrating the holidays, and it's the ultra right beer is the sort of brand behind it. This guy, I follow him on Twitter. He put out this calendar of conservative women. Full disclosure, he actually asked yours truly if I would be a part of it. I said, hell no.
Dana Loesch, who is in my opening doming me, is featured in the calendar. Riley Gaines, the transphobic swimmer. I don't even think Kim Klacik, she is like a radio host in Baltimore that ran for office. Riley Gaines in it twice. I don't even know the rest of them. Who is Ashley St. Clair? Who is Sarah Gonzalez? I don't even know them. And I'm asshole deep in the conservative propaganda. Dana Loesch didn't like pose wearing any kind of a bikini or anything. She posed with a couple of assault rifles.
But others made a different choice. And now, like, a lot of people on the internet are upset about this. More conservative women are saying this is not what we need.
Does not look like we have SE Cup.
Dads, real women.
No Blair White.
I got to be honest. I couldn't care less about people doing it. I think this is great. Dana Loesch, she's amazing. She's not showing anything. She's like holding guns. Riley Gaines is in a bikini. Hello, she's a swimmer. She's gorgeous. Yeah. But people are upset. Like a lot of conservative women who I love are like, this is not the way forward. So I can tell Moynihan's offended.
Up against the wall, clack. No, it's not. Everything has to be the way forward.
InfoWars.
Something could be just staying right in place or not having any forward.
Yes. Oh my God! Did you guys see Megyn Kelly pop up and tell you to subscribe?
Way forward. Something could be just staying right in place or not having any forward.
Yes.
Adderall or
she looks like Sweet D from Sunny in Philadelphia.
No, it's not. Everything has to be the way forward. Something could be just staying right in place or not having any forward Adderall or backwards motion at all. The only thing that matters here, Megan, and you know this as well as I do, is if they are hot. If they are hot, then
hey, this dude was a reporter for Vice, wasn't he? What happened to him? Why is he on with Megyn Kelly?
If they are not hot, then I'm opposed to the calendar. I mean, this is a simple calculation.
Wow. You know, Matt,
right?
Moynihan, you make a very strong argument.
I make a very strong. I could be a lawyer. From that.
I'm going to check with my wife. I'm going to see if this argument passes muster. But if it does, I'm in your corner. But she'll tell me. No.
I think you plagiarized.
No, they did ask her. She said she turned it down.
Hey, my daughter accused me of being at a restaurant. My 12-year-old daughter.
I wonder if they really did ask her.
Oh, don't you? And I'm like, am I really? Is it that obvious? Am I showing this at all times? And I said, yes, dear, I do think that. And then we just moved on and had a very lovely meal.
Dear.
Wow.
Wow.
Very creepy.
Girl,
Poor
dad
girl.
for
She's
the
going to
win.
years of therapy. That one.
Yeah. We've already started it. Yeah.
I don't know. People are upset. They're like, I mean, I love Allie Beth Stuckey. She's conservative. She's Christian. And she's like, look, do we really need something for conservative dads? I don't think it's necessarily for people who are married with children. It's like, that's the name of the group. Anyway, saying like, I've seen this before. I posed actually for, was it GQ magazine? I can't even remember now. I think it was GQ magazine in like a sultry little dress. I was very pregnant at the time, and I was proud that I could still squeeze myself into one of these numbers. And it was when I was turning 40. I was like, this is a good marker in time for like the 40-year-old me. But I got a lot of blowback for that too. And it was all from conservatives who were like, that was a mistake. That's not what conservatives stand for.
Oh, really? Conservatives are prudes?
See, why are conservatives, why do we have to be all stuffy and like not sexy? I don't know.
Because you're fucking Puritans. You're reactionary Puritans.
I can't wait to have your cock in my mouth. I'm going to give you the blowjob of your life. Then I want you inside of me.
Ideas about sexuality and gender and nonconformity scare conservatives. That's why, Megan.
I mean, that's why conservatives lose the culture war.
Yeah,
because they give you a hard time about being in GQ.
Yeah,
it's not the right
but it's not just conservatives who do it. It's people on the left, I imagine, primarily who were critical of you, Megan, for posing. And there is a bizarre double standard with respect to gender here. Because
Stop it.
And less me and more for Moynihan and Welch. I mean, they're confronted every day with apex predators who have their chiseled 8-pack abs and they're on the covers of magazines. And where's the love for Moynihan and Welch? They deserve love too.
I know.
You know, not all
the dad bod is in.
You can show them right now if you want. Pull up your shirt.
I could. But then this
Joey Libertarian Monthly is not a great magazine. It's just,
that's someone's cup of tea. I just want.
I hope that I'm someone's cup of tea, but I doubt that. So
we could give it a try, guys. We could take one of those like cruises together, and we could bill it as like
Let's
meet
go.
the men of the Libertarian calendar. 2024.
Oh my God, that would be.
Let's go.
And by the way, I say this, and Matt knows this very well, of being around libertarian world.
Yeah.
That is not. And Matt actually just dropped out of the call because he was so angry.
Welch's face is so angry because he's frozen. He looks so unhappy with what you're
he's
saying.
so unhappy. Yeah, well, I mean, if you've ever been around libertarians, you realize that maybe you'll get January and February, and it's both going to be me. So I'm sorry.
Well, I'm Mr. October, so it's fine.
Stossel.
You're
And you have
Look
that
at
to look
Stossel
forward
in
to.
there.
Yeah,
Rand
Stossel with the
Paul.
mustache, of course.
Oh, man.
Wow.
And
Only the
one month.
No one wants to see John Stossel. I actually just watched John Stossel get the shit slapped out of him by Dr. D. Watching a Vice documentary like the nine lives of Vince McMahon. This is the calendar in question. The real women of America. Here's your little sneak peek. I don't know who that is. So that's Kim Klacik. I kind of had a crush on her, and I started following her on social media, and she is really fucking stupid. So I don't really have a crush on Kim Klacik anymore. That was that Ashley St. Clair. The redheaded libertarian. Bethany Bartlett. She's burning the New York Times, it looks like. And none of them really look all that appealing either. Just throwing that out there. Featuring the most beautiful conservative women in America. Oh, shit.
Come on, man.
I condemn this calendar.
Condemn.
Dana Loesch, once again, doming me in the opening, or doming the troll, which I guess is me. Doming the troll in the... No, that's the beer that popped up when they started boycotting Bud Light. Now, if you do possibly want something a little more provocative than that completely tame calendar I just showed you, ESPN has you covered. ESPN airs woman's NSFW flashing on Bourbon Street during Sugar Bowl broadcast. Now, I don't think the woman meant to flash the camera, but she did indeed. Like, I think it's one of those Seinfeld kind of moments. Socrates, seriously, get the fuck down. You're annoying the shit out of me tonight. Jesus. I don't think she meant to flash the camera. I think it was one of those instances where, like, I think I see a nipple. Oh, nope. I was wrong. I was wrong. She absolutely flashed the camera. Oh, shit. Well, I don't know that she flashed the camera. I don't know that she knew a camera was there. She is purposely flashing her titties.
The mark of a fighter. The mark of a fighter. The mark of a fighter.
I had just seen a screenshot of it, and I thought she was just like playing on her phone or something. Her breastises happened to kind of be exposed. But nope. She was wanting some beads.
The mark of a fighter. The mark of a fighter. The mark of a fighter.
This is New Orleans. That's what you're supposed to do. She's just following the local customs. That woman deserves a titty slap.
Titty slap! Come on now.
Oh, god damn. So there was this incident that happened in LA. This is Ian Ziering, apparently starred on the 90s show Beverly Hills 90210. Right-wing media ran with this shit, trying to show how unsafe LA is and how unsafe California is. But apparently this motherfucker actually instigated a fight with a biker gang. Bikers never touch his car. He just gets out and starts pushing people. New video in the motorcycle Ian Ziering Wild Fight shows the Beverly Hills 90210 star is the first one to throw a punch that triggered an all-out brawl, which I've not seen yet.
Get up, I got it, Stace. I got it.
Yeah, this is where you see the video pick up on most social media. There's a woman coming after him to beat his ass. Good on you, ma'am. So he is the one that instigated everything. Does not look like a bike touched his fucking car. He gets out, starts pushing people. Yeah, they're not even like Honda Groms. Is that what they're called? They're not even like real motorcycles. They're closer to dirt bikes than anything. Yeah, he's trying to find somebody wearing a fucking helmet. Yeah, they're all wearing protection. He deserves what he got. Fuck this dude. And apparently, if the only thing you have to your credit is Beverly Hills 90210, you ain't been in anything else since then for them to credit you with. You obviously have not had a very successful career now, have you? Just throwing that out there. Speaking of people who were a flash in the pan and not had a very successful career since. Man I really used to look up to who cracked me the fuck up, but hasn't been funny since he came back from Africa. The one Mr. Dave Chapelle. New or ex-Netflix staffer reveals new details about Chappelle-inspired walkout. In this exclusive clip, B. Paggles Minor, whom Netflix fired in 2021, tells Vice TV on the 9 Lives of Chappelle See, I was talking about watching the 9 Lives of Vince McMahon earlier. So it's apparently a new 9 Lives of Dave Chappelle. That Chappelle's controversy-generating specials didn't even perform that well.
By the very next day, I started getting messages from employees saying, I am in a really bad space, mentally wise. Like, I feel like I'm not sure why I work here. Like, this has caused me to question everything, and how disturbing it was that our own company had made our employees feel that way. But the entire response from the senior hospitality staff.
I meant to download them the other day because download the newest one. Because I want to see, because like the reviews I've seen is that it is not funny at all. So I wanted to formulate my own ideas about it, right? I want to see if he can make me chuckle. As I said, the overwhelming in 2000, 2001, 2002, whenever the Chappelle show was on, it was one of the things.
Yeah, he's like completely in love with me already. It's totally disgusting. Put the phone down! Put the phone down, please! I was like, dude, I've already started. No, Gina, turn around, please, Gina!
I'll be right back. And he's dead.
What?
Like if he was in a horror movie, you'd never say, I'll be right back. Because then you don't.
It better do the laugh.
Where the hell did he go?
The mouse is out. I mean, even if they get sued, it's probably a good thing for them. I'd say they've probably taken that into account. I don't know. It's interesting. Because, as I said, I don't think that version of Mickey was called Mickey. I think he was Mortimer Mouse. And it does, say, Disney's Mickey Mouse. We should probably always expect B horror movies like this, with things that are in the. I got nothing against it. I think it's funny. This kid just became the first person to beat the NES version of Tetris. I can't believe that it has taken this long for somebody to do it. Had no clue that no one had ever done it. Willis Gibson achieved a kill screen on a game 21 years older than him. Tetris is one of the most popular and enduring video games of all time, with versions on just about every console, computer, and gadget. Many of these iterations have endings baked into story modes, but the original endless mode was considered unbeatable by humans until now. A 13-year-old boy has become the first person to beat the NES version of Tetris 34 years after it originally released back in 1989. The reason we put beat in quotes is due to the nature of the achievement. Oklahoma teenager Willis Gibson, also known as Blue Scuddy on YouTube, didn't access an authorized ending as there isn't one. Instead, he played the game so perfectly for so long that it forced a kill screen and crashed the game. These kill screens are usually caused by an overflow error that occurs when you speed the game up so much the software can't keep up. And we are going to watch about the last 4 minutes of it. So not technically beating it, but doing the equivalent.
I missed it. Crash.
Oh, so he knows what he's trying to do. He's trying to make it crash.
Oh my god!
Dude, you are a fucking legend now. Like he was playing on the original NES, right? Like this wasn't an emulator.
I can't feel my fingers.
I can't feel my fingers.
Oh my god. Oh my god. The game. My hands feel tingly. I feel my hands. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Fucking legend.
I don't know.
What a beast.
Oh my god.
I fucking love Tetris. I've got the Tetris Effect. I play it all the fucking time.
Oh, I'm shaking so bad.
That's fucking cool, dude.
Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't. Oh my god.
That was fucking cool. I'm glad we watched this. Allahu Akbar.
So bad. Oh. Can't freaking deal with this.
You can't deal with it. You need to celebrate. I'll get you a grape juice because you're 13 years old. You can't have a little bit of the bubbly. That chair doesn't look comfortable. Get you a gaming chair.
I can't freaking do this. I'm so... Oh.
God never beat Tetris. I wanted to see like if he had his his mom's reaction. He'd probably just blow it off. She wouldn't know the monumental thing he just pulled off. The Defense Department might try to recruit him. Possibly. Maybe the Ruskies. I mean, it was developed by the Soviets, Tetris. Maybe they might want him. Watch this shit. It's gonna be the cutest thing you've ever seen. Little murder kittens. I want to cuddle with these little dangerous motherfuckers. I guess they're not too dangerous at that age. Go ahead, light one up, tip one back. It's all right to have a little fun before you hit the sack. Spider Pickle! I'm JustinFREAKIN. We will see you Sunday night on the Troll Patrol live.